Hi. Today we're gonna be talking about. Today we're gonna be talking about free will and whether or not it exists. Well, I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Fuck. I'm gonna prerequisite this video with. You can't really have free will if all realities exist, because you're never gonna be. You literally cannot. You cannot diverge away from what already exists, because it's like it says in the Bible, there is nothing new under the sun, and there's lots of new things under the sun. Well, it's a sphere, everything is under the sun, because everything goes outward, right? The stars are technically under the sun, and we're technically under the stars, because it's spheres, it's space, there's no directions, okay? So do we really have free will? Since all timelines, past, present, future, that could possibly ever be, imaginable or non-imaginable or impossible, they all already exist. And they are all connected together. And so outside of this multiverse, there is nothing, because this multiverse encompasses all that is. And if there's something that it doesn't encompass, it encompasses it automatically. So the thing is, you cannot do anything that is outside of the path, okay? You can't do anything that escapes what already is. And that means that there's no free will. Because if everything already exists, you're not ever going to make any new decisions there. It's already going to be pre-decided. But if you have infinite choices, then isn't that the same thing almost as having free will? Because if you have infinite choices, there is nothing outside of your capability. Okay, if there's infinite possibility, there's nothing that can't be done. There's nothing impossible. Okay, so when you realize that, the illusion of impossibility is removed. So we have free will in the sense that we are infinite beings in an infinite multiverse and an infinite universe, and we have infinite souls and infinite spirits, and we exist as an infinite energy, but we are not free in the sense that we will never be separate from that infinity. We're a small part of it. Immeasurably small, since it continues forever. We are 0.000, etc. part of that. So, think about that. Now, I was told by a British robotic voice last night that nothing matters, okay? We think things are so big. This is the thing. We think We think things are so big. Like, we're losing our job, it's the biggest thing in the world. Or, your grandpa dies, it's huge. That's a big deal. Well, the thing is, cosmic scale. In a cosmic scale, none of that is going to affect anything. In fact, nothing is going to affect anything. Since there's infinite universes, black holes eating planets, supernovas exploding entire galaxies, this massive stuff, it doesn't matter. It matters equally as little as the little things like the fond memories you have with your kids or the people that you love. That's just the same size. Everything is equally small, 0.0000000, etc. Continual, never stopping, zero continuum. Okay? And since nothing really matters in that scale, you realize that things only matter when you make them matter. So, if you're losing your job, you are making that matter. Okay? And if you're not spending time with your kids, you're making that not matter. Okay? So you choose what matters and what doesn't. And so, even though nothing matters, and that is nihilism, because that's just the simple fact of the matter. People want to add meaning to life, but you have to add meaning to life. You have to realize that. You add the meaning to life. The meaning to life is not just there. It is added, and it has to be added. Once you realize that you create the meaning and you are the meaning, that means infinite free will, because nothing really matters. Except free will within infinity isn't really free will, because all things are possible. But since all things are possible, that's even more free will. So is there free will? It's more complicated than that. I call it Route 15 when you can't determine whether something is free will or non-free will. But you can determine that you can live life in a happy way. You can live life in a way that you want to live it. It can be mediocre, it can be extravagant, it can be sad, it can be happy, it can be everything. But it's up to you, because all the choices are already there. You can't create a new choice, but any choice that you could possibly want to create is already there. Okay? So is there free will? Yes and no. I'm going to share with you a personal little ditty. That's not even the right word. It's like a little, it's a, what do you call it? It's a story from my life, basically. I, for a long time, thought that there was a way that things had to be. Like things had to make sense. Or that I had to compartmentalize things into categories. Like, this is a tulpa, this is a thought form, this is an angel, this is a demon, this works like this, karma is real, this is not real, reincarnation, that's making this extravagant castle of bullshit. When really, the only thing that is true is that nothing is true. All truths are half-truths, and therefore nothing is true. So if I were to say black is white, and white is black, and white is white, and black is black, that's a 100% true statement. Because it's total opposites. You have to have yin and yang to make a complete circle. So there is no truths in infinity. So don't get caught up in some extravagant castle that you're making out of thoughts in your head. Like the idea of psychology, for example. We think of psychology and we think that of one image of mental health, when in reality that image of mental health that is created by modern psychology doesn't always make everybody mentally healthy. In fact, it makes a lot of people mentally unhealthy to be in the mental health community. Okay? We think of things as being true. Like in the spiritual community, people like to go down on pharmaceutical medicine. And it's like, yeah, pharmaceutical medicine is not always good. Neither is it always bad. Things are not ever black and white, but they're always gray. The line that separates them is infinitely large, and the sides themselves also are. It's all gray, okay? So don't think that there's a path that you have to follow. And given that all paths are viable, that still isn't free will, but it's the most free will that is possible. So is there free will? There really isn't technically free will in infinity, but there is free will. We like to catch ourselves up in what we think matters, like the news, politics, and things like that. But none of that really matters, okay? Social media, someone's mad at you, someone doesn't like you. It doesn't matter. You are adding the meaning to that. And when you realize that you're that free, realizing the absence of free will, that's free will. So, there is free will. So, I'm going to leave that at that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share. Goodbye. Also hit the bell notification icon, but yeah.